Good morning. Welcome to the current edition of Friday News Roundup. Wanted to take a minute and to offer my condolences to all those that have suffered this week. My thoughts and prayers to the families of those that have been victims throughout the world, actually. It has been a very sobering week. I wanted to start off with a tie-in to our discussion of the Code of Ethics and the Realtors Code of Ethics that we had chatted about doing or put on our schedule. And I wanted to start by reading the preamble. Under all is the land. Upon its wise utilization and widely allocated ownership depend the survival and growth of free institutions and of our civilization. Realtors should recognize that the interests of the nation and its citizens require the highest and best use of the land and the widest distribution of land ownership. They require the creation of adequate housing, the building of functioning cities, the development of productive industries and farms, and the preservation of a healthy environment. That preamble was written to the Code of Ethics over 100 years ago. There are truths contained within that preamble that we aspire to or should aspire to as realtors and as citizens. This week has shown some glaring challenges that we face, and I believe that the answer to those challenges can be found in patience and tolerance. The Code of Ethics of the Realtor Association is a guide to behavior. There are many guides to behavior, but ultimately it comes down to our agency and our choice and the way we choose to respond. I was in a continuing education class, a very wonderful continuing education class a few weeks ago, and the observation, first off on my part, was that I was in the minority. A middle-aged male, slightly overweight, maybe more than slightly. And the conversation turned to what other generations may aspire to or would desire to have as service and what they would expect from their professionals in their community. The conversation then widened out into other ethnic groups and to what they may expect. And it occurred to me that, and I voiced this in the class, that we as a human race all expect the same. We expect and desire to be treated with dignity. We desire to be able to pursue our dreams with a fair and unimpeded effort. We desire perhaps sometimes to have a hand up and not a hand out. We want to be able to live our dreams and pursue our desires. It also occurs to me that we have many common traits. We have a love of family. We have a love of the opportunity we have to be with our family. It's important to me that we focus on what we have in common. I go back to the Code of Ethics since this is a business video, and I stay within the realm of my business associates, but the general human relations and human emotions that we all have transcend business, personalities, race, demographics, nationalities. One of the common examples that we have seen, unfortunately, this week is the exemplification of fear and hate. Those are the two most negative human emotions one can have. The antidote for fear and hate is patience and tolerance. And I believe that all of us need to exemplify that and be patient and tolerant. That's very difficult when things are obviously wrong. But at the end of the day, patience and tolerance doesn't mean silence. It doesn't mean inaction. It means restraint and exercising thoughtful response. The rule of law in America is one of the great flagships of our nation, one of the great banners, standards. Another that this nation has had at its core is personal accountability, our agency, the way we choose to respond, the way we choose to conduct ourselves. If we truly believe in the First Amendment right of free speech, that means we need to support those, or perhaps support's the wrong word, we need to allow those who disagree with us to be able to voice their opinion. It doesn't mean they get to come up and smack us in the nose, but it does mean that they get to voice their opinion. And I submit that patience and tolerance, when employed as the most common response, will distill or disperse more than aggressive behavior back. I call your attention to, on my personal webpage, a wonderful video by my church, which I think expresses these viewpoints and sentiments. Again, my condolences to all those that were harmed this week. My prayers to you and to your family. And my wish is that we can all exercise patience and tolerance without restraint, and certainly have restraint in our emotions as we work through this process. Thank you.